I'm through with standing in line to clubs I'll never get in. It's like the bottom of the ninth and I'm never gonna win this. Life hasn't turned out quite the way I want it to be.
Tell me what you want.
I want a brand new house on an episode of Cribs and a bathroom I can play baseball in, and a king-size tub big enough for 10 plus me.
So what you need?
I'll need a credit card that's got no limit and a big black jet with a bedroom in it. Gonna join the Mile High Club at 37,000 feet.
Been done that.
I want a new tour bus full of old guitars. Mine star on Hollywood Boulevard. Somewhere between Cher and James Dean is fine for me.
So how you gonna do it?
I'm gonna trade this life for fortune and fame. I'd even cut my hair and change my name. Cause we all just wanna be big rock stars and live in hilltop houses driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. Well, I'll stay skinny cause we just won't eat. And we'll hang out in the coolest bars in the VIP with the movie stars. Every good gold digger's gonna wind up there. Every playboy bunny with a bleached blonde hair. And well, hey, hey, I wanna be a rock star. Hey, hey, I wanna be a rock star.
You know what? I'm having a blast doing these videos. You guys that are just joining YouTube and checking out these videos, and not just mine, anybody's videos. The guys who put these videos on are having a blast, and they're passing something along to you guys. It could not work. It's a two-way street. But I swear to God, man, I love that song as my theme, opening theme, at least for this next build series we're gonna do. We're gonna have a blast. I'll share it with you. You're looking at it. It's not gonna be a long build series. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to get into this hobby? I mean, you work your ass off all your life. You work your butt off down at the factory or the office or the plant or out on the field or you know, you punch that clock, you put in your hours. Now you're getting older just like us. When is it your turn? When is it our turn to have a blast? Unless you picture the golf course at age 79 and you taking your swings, that's having it made. Well, this may not be for you.
Driving 15 cars. The girls come easy and the drugs come cheap. We'll all stay skinny cause we just won't eat. And we'll hang out in the coolest bars in the VIP with the movie stars. Every good gold digger's gonna wind up there.
You know who you are. It doesn't matter male or female, young or old, what country you're from. You know who you are. I'm talking to you right now. You gotta build, you gotta work. Tools and machinery and moving pieces fascinate you. That's why you're here. Oh. Let me give you a quick little story. There you go. I love that song for my opening theme song. Anyways, let me give you a little story. My buddy Ed Campbell, who when he passed, he had done well. He was well off, but he was born in a little town called Cushman, Arkansas. He said back then, and almost to this day, where he grew up, they had a dirt floor and they had an outhouse. No plumbing in the house. Kind of like us in our little hometown in Mexico. Exactly. They went into Arkansas one day. He saw a train sit, a Lino train sit in the window. Excuse me, a Marx train sit in the window. And he said, "Mom, Dad, please, I'd like to have it." They were too poor. They said, "We can't afford that. You're going to have to pick something else." He was heartbroken. His two older sisters took him into town the following weekend so he could point out where that train was, and they bought him that train for Christmas. Well, Ed ran it around, I'm sure, Christmas morning. Now, all of you guys are going to relate to this story. He ran it around a couple of days, probably, or a week or two, maybe a month, and then before everyone realized it, he had taken that train set apart because he wanted to see how it worked. That's why we're here. That's why places like Harbor Freight or Milwaukee Tools or Home Depot, Lowe's, Ace Hardware, it doesn't matter. That's why Craftsman existed, because our yearning to make things work. How does that work? How do birds fly? How do we get to the moon? It just, that yearning that draws inside human beings and yanks at us constantly. You're going to go to the grave as an old man with that still tugging at you. So here's my question to you again, and I'm being dead serious. Regardless of age, you worked your ass off. And you guys who are about to retire or who retire worked your asses off all your life. I love my job. Don't get me wrong. I worked my ass off. Still do. But I love my job like crazy. When is it your turn? Are you going to wait till you're 79 so maybe you could go and, take a couple of cuts at the golf course, or this and that? You can start enjoying what's inside you right now, not only in your imagination, that creative part that wants to paint and draw and pictures a locomotive like this or this like that, but also the mechanical side of it. And I'm constantly learning to this day new stuff, especially working with metal or any other medium. I learned how to work on styrene here recently on YouTube, building the AMT Freightliner dump truck kit, the AMT Marilyn Monroe Diamond Reel kit, the AMT Ford mine was a C900, and the Dodge L700. I had never worked on styrene before. I knew how to glue stuff together, but how to work on styrene and manipulate it, I had never done that. I learned doing that on live TV here on YouTube with you guys. We all learn together, or you guys watch me learn. Now I'm going to pass along. Well, just get some light on the subject. Okie doke. I was about to box all this stuff up. I filmed that last video, in memory of Gary Schrader. And, I had all the stuff out. Let me clip the microphone to my collar. Give me a second. And real quick, as I clip the microphone onto my collar, let me say hi to a new subscriber. We said hi this morning or yesterday to Congo 2803. I want to say hi and welcome aboard to Mr. Train Driver 1970. Mr. Train Driver 1970, welcome aboard. Thank you for joining. Pipe in whenever you want about anything. Doesn't matter. I take criticisms, critiques, and compliments. I take them all the same. Or just sit back and not say anything. Just enjoy. And I'll mosey on over to check out your YouTube channel one of these days, one of these mornings. I usually check out all my YouTube channels when I drink my morning cup of coffee at breakfast. I eat my breakfast, drink my coffee in my back patio, outdoors, under the patio, out of the elements. I'll do that every day, even when I go to work early in the morning, even when it's still dark out there. And I listen to the birds and look at my yard and watch the sun come up. And I thank God every day. And I pray. Actually, I do pray. Maybe a little different form of praying than what you guys are used to. But I actually grab my acoustic guitar and I start singing a few songs that mean a lot to me at that particular moment. And absolutely, you better believe I believe in God and I pray. And as far as religions, as I'm getting older, all I can say is all religions are good if they preach love, peace, and raising your family, raising your children right. And that is the secret to the universe. Love and your loving family. Not this, but this is the fun stuff we do to preoccupy that inquisitive mind, that mechanical mind we have, you guys have. You So let's have fun. I was going to box everything up. This is going to be part one of a build series. I don't know how long or how many parts. It should take about a month. How many parts shouldn't be that long. While we're waiting for some more parts for the Lino Transit to come in, I have had something to do. So this is what we're going to do. Tonight's video might be 2 videos, but I was going to box everything away. And just clean off the workbench, and I don't know what I was going to do. And I said, you know what? I still haven't painted. Well, I keep mentioning Ed Campbell. I got another good friend, one of the last remaining good friends in the model railroading world. And let's see if we can watch something on TV. You guys hold on while I bring something up on TV here. Hopefully that won't violate any of YouTube's sensitivities. All right, let's play that. Anyways, this locomotive belongs to a very, very dear friend of mine. Bill Bowker is not a friend. Bill Bowker is literally a brother from another mother. I've known Bill for many, many years. Bill Bowker, I'm going to go ahead and paint your locomotive, get it sorted out so it runs great, and then we'll either ship it to you, which I doubt. I think we're going to hand deliver this to you, Bill, out there in Arkansas, in Little Rock, Arkansas, hopefully sometime this spring. And she's beautiful. This is a USHobbies Denver Rio Grande 264. I think it's an L131. I think it's referred to. I have the box right here. We'll show it to you guys right now. The thing is massive. It's built. The best locomotives you can buy to handle the weight and everything are the USHobbies locomotives. There are more detailed, more expensive locomotives in the old scale market, but for the general working man who doesn't want to spend $10,000 on a big boy, this is the way to go. You pick up one of these anywhere from $900 to maybe, $1,600, $1,800. If it's mint in the box already painted, maybe $2,000. But I've had this here. I forgot all about it till I filmed that video here the other evening. And I said, you know what? I got to paint this for Bill. So I've got all the parts and pieces. This is how I start. This is how I used to make my living. And not make my living, but supplement my income. And it got so successful that I started making a hell of a lot more money doing this than I did at my regular job. And I got a good paying job. And then 2008 came into the Great Recession, and the trade market just went down the drain. Thank God I didn't quit my job and dedicated myself to this, because I probably would be homeless right now. But this sucker here weighs a ton. Let's see where we can shove that guy. Give me a second. Let me think here, guys. Okay, I did not plan this out like I should have. We're going to put this puppy right here. Okay. I know I'm being a rude host, but let me show you guys what I'm going to do here. Just for point of reference, you get an idea how large these puppies are. Okay, so kind of gives you an idea. So we'll start the process. I'll show you how I generally attack one of these. Number one, you want to make sure if it's I've worked on locomotives that were completely damaged and need to be gone over first before you even attempt to paint them. I've gotten some that are painted that just need some redetailing. I've gotten some, let's get this guy out of the way too. Okay. I've gotten some that, like in this case, they're in perfect condition. They just need a little bit of paint. What's going to take up a little bit of time here is on this particular locomotive to keep the price down. Usually you have no cab interior. You'll have the firewall, but that's about it. In this particular case, here's where the research part of it is to me anyways, and to a few other people I know, and to the late Gary Schrader, the guy I dedicated the video to the other night, researching the real one in order to apply those details onto your model so it resembles the real one you're modeling is the best part of the hobby, and that includes myself too. So as you can see right here, you don't really get much interior detail. You just got that big back head there. So Bill Balker wanted all the gauges and an interior in there. The biggest challenge in any scale about going that route is you got to make sure those parts are even available. Got to make sure those parts are even available. If those parts aren't available and you can't scratch build them, or someone can't cast them for you, then it's a no-go, no matter how much you want that project to go. But especially if it's a customer who's paying you some big bucks to do this, he's commissioned you to do this work, you got to be able to say, you know what, it can't be done. Those particular items you're requesting, or what you're requesting, those are not commercially available, and I can't scratch build them or have them cast for you. That also happens too. In that case, usually the owner will loosen up his standards and let you kind of show him what you can do. And it's always, I've never had a project where I return it back. Usually the owner says, okay, let's do it that way. You notice I'm speaking in a different way. I'm not talking like when we build styrene models or AMT models or anything else. I'm now talking more of this was my expertise. This was my profession. This is side profession. When I'm at work, I speak a totally different way too. But bear with me. It's just it's ingrained in what I did and what the guys who do this. Gary Schrader was one of them. It's just the process over a lifetime of how you go about doing this type of stuff. And we're not showing off or anything. It literally becomes a business with tax records and 1099s and handshakes and contracts in some cases, and lawsuits and others, and good stuff like that. Don't burn anybody. You'll never have to worry about lawsuits or anything like that. And yes, we do have thieves in the hobby, and snake oil salesmen and carpetbaggers. Trust me. But you get yourself a good reputation, word of mouth. Seal all your deals with a handshake if you're comfortable with that. I am. That's the only way I work in this line of work, and you're gonna have more than enough work for a lifetime. But do you really call this work? Can you really call this? Oh, I gotta sit down and work on an old scale model again. Oh, woe is me. So are you sure you want to get into this hobby? Are you sure this is something that is piquing your interest? So let me go about it talking out loud like I always do. And you're going to hear terms and different terminology, different methods, totally different than what I usually post here on YouTube. But I got to change channels when I work on this part of my hobby, what do you want to call it? Hobby experience of a lifetime or whatever, well, anyways, so bear with me. If in order to paint a locomotive also, the decals have to be available. Pretty much you can find any decal, unless you have a good decal maker, and there are now a lot of good, actually excellent decal makers out there. So far I've been lucky. Everything I've probably have more decals here than anybody else on the West Coast. Once Ed Campbell passed and I got his collection, included it with my collection, as far as West Coast railroad names, I definitely have it. And but in this particular case, I'm sure I have one. I just have to dig it up. But I got this from Don Miller. The Champ Decal, Denver Rio Grande steam locomotive decal set for their large steamers. In this particular case, you can see that there. Denver Rio Grande in that speed font, which will go on the tender. And the numbers under the cab. Not much lettering or decals on the real thing. And so yes, it's a go as far as painting is concerned. Now, Bill Balker wanted a complete cab interior in this particular locomotive. That's the other thing. Luckily, when Bill bought this model and I said I could do the work for him, Precision Scale Company was still in business. I think they still are. I hope so. I got to know the owner very well, Mark Mergerson. He was a big cigar guy and a NASCAR guy and a hunter. I'm two of those three. So Bill put an order in. We helped him. I got the O-Scale, Precision Scale catalogs here. We found all the parts necessary for Bill Balker's cab interior. In addition to the parts, you want to get diagrams, drawings, photographs of the interior of how it looks, the layout in terms of gauges and steam dials and all that good stuff. You want to definitely, if you can accomplish this triad of information and researching and gathering and commercially available parts, then it's a go. It's a go. So let's see what Bill Balker's got. These would go on the floor of your cab, and you'd have these big levers sticking out of them for opening the clamshell or different various things. There's some dials right there for you. See right here, we've got these are globe valves, little valve turning wheels on top there. This thing would be painted black, and the little turning wheel on top would be painted red. You got more here, more here. More here, different sizes. Here is this would be your throttle. So this would go above the engineer, and he would pull back on that, opening the throttle, so the locomotive starts to go forward at whatever speed he desires. More dials. This is your sight glass. Check out the steam level or water not in the cab, but rather in the firebox of the locomotive. You don't want it to run low on water, otherwise you cause an explosion. There's your brake stand. There's your clamshell doors for shoveling in coal. Some more beautiful valves and stuff. I'm really glad this is my next project. I did not realize I've forgotten how beautiful O-Scale is in terms of adding the details. Look at that. Look at that's fantastic. Let me put some light on that. It's just fantastic. That's a casting, guys. It's a one-piece casting. Yeah, I'm tickled as pie. This is the way we're gonna go. Now I'm gonna call Bill. I'll call him probably tomorrow Sunday morning. I'm gonna tell him, Bill, start checking your computer every evening, every other evening or so. I'm going to start filming your locomotive on my YouTube channel as part of a build series. And I know he's going to get tickled pink. I'll talk all sorts of shit about Bill and me and him and our adventures and stuff, and embarrass the daylights out of him in front of his wife. But we'll have a blast. And look at that. There's your crewman seats. So, and you know, Mark Morganson would send you your invoice, you know, all your good stuff. So So far, my checklist of can I do this project for Bill Balker, the customer? So far, my checklist, I've checked off everything. Everything is a go. Got the decals, interior. Here we go. Here's some more stuff I just want to show off for curiosity's sake. Now, we have these freight cars here in O-scale. They're not painted or decaled yet. But I think it was Ed or somebody built these cars in O-scale. But Ed Campbell managed to get photographs, detailed photographs of the real thing. So we can go ahead and proceed. I'm building and painting and decaling these cars correctly to match the photographs. We'll do that one day. Not today. Today we're working on the locomotive there. And for those particular freight cars there, they're home-built box cars. Denver Rio Grande built these in their own shops. I don't recall the reason for the corrugated sides. I'm sure maybe it was something to do with the war effort maybe, or lack of steel. I'm sure there's some Denver Rio Grande fans on here that may or may not comment and let us know down below. But if I find out that information down that road, I'll pass it along to you guys. But I have these cars that are here in the back behind me somewhere in boxes. When they'll dig them out and show you that process. But today we're concentrating on that guy right there. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Next part's kind of interesting. It won't take that long. There's going to be a 2-part video. So why don't we end the video here for right now? Let's call it an intermission, so to speak. And then we will return here with part 2, either the same evening or the next evening, as we now start the Bill Balker Denver Rio Grande L131 O-scale project build. This was part 1. Join me for part 2. And just relax, have a cup of coffee, pour yourself some rum, eat your dinner or your breakfast, enjoy, and then get your toe wet, and eventually you dip into some aspect of the scale modeling hobby world. Come on back for part 2.